found us. More Podcast, where we want you to know God more deeply, find lasting freedom, discover your destiny, and make an eternal difference. Now,
well, it's true. You have found us again. It's only been a week, but here we are. I mean, I know you've been wanting more podcasts more often in the week, but it's just impossible because we do so much more through the week.
Right.
So I tied all that more in there.
Yeah, that was good.
That's pretty good. I didn't think
I expected a lot more out of you.
Yeah, I love it. We could just keep going. We're dads, so dad jokes are
In season
easy.
all the time.
All the time. Well, if you wonder why you take the time each week to listen to more podcasts, I'll tell you why. More stands for maximizing opportunities for right now and eternity. So stop asking why you listen. Just never forget to listen and pass it on. And man, that counter is so dang close to 7,000. I mean, it's just we just need a few more Indonesians to download the podcast or something. I don't know. We're so close.
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know. We
Put
should.
us over the top, man.
We could just, if we could have that 7,000 party, we should.
Wasn't it fun to? I was bragging with Pastor Dwayne. I'm like, yeah, we're up to almost 7,000 downloads on our podcast. And he's like, really? I had 18 million downloads on my last sermon.
I know. After he's
I'm like, okay, back to the Little League.
yeah, when he was talking on Sunday, like the first time it shows is 500,000, and just keep going up. I'm like, well, we got 7,000.
Yeah, when I was telling him about it, he's like, is that per show or?
Yeah.
No, we've been doing this for 2 years and we're almost at 7,000.
Yeah, you're like, okay, nothing to really brag.
Yeah, I'm going to stop bragging all the time.
Here we go. Well, for us in our little market,
Right.
little pond that we're in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Yeah, he's got a better marketing department, apparently. Yeah, they're better at it. Well, this episode has been brought to you by Nitral Melatonin Gummies, the snackable sleep solution for those nights when your brain decides to run a marathon at 2 a.m. Have you ever tried to wrestle your mind to sleep? Now there's no need. Pop a melatonin gummy and send those wild thoughts on a gentle drift down Dream River. No oars needed. Perfect for when sheep counting turns into a full-blown sheep census. These gummies are your trick to bypass the nightly noggin negotiations. Just one gummy, and you're on a nonstop flight to Snoozeville. Buckle up with a blanket because it's about to get comfortably quiet on the express train to the land of Nod. Melatonin gummies, they're like a snooze button for your brain. And I did not get anything in the mail for these guys either.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I'm so surprised.
Basically, they're like, go to Walmart. They're on the shelf. And you can get your own gummies.
Did you try to reach out to him though?
Well, that's what I tried to do. I tried to, say, hey, listen, I'm going to be, putting you on my 7,000 download podcast compared to 15 million. And, they never respond. They act like I don't even exist.
Did you tell me you have like 100,000 downloads? Because then
They would probably check up on me. Yeah.
Fact check.
Yeah. I could just say, my name is Pastor Dwayne. And
Yeah.
I have a podcast where I want to. Yeah, that's what we need to start doing. This podcast is hosted by Pastor Dwayne Vanderclock.
Right. Just ship it over to Iraq, Afghanistan. Great.
What is it? Punchti? What is the language over there?
That was interesting.
Punjab or
it was
something.
Pushti something. Yeah.
I never even heard the language before.
Right.
But we are now going to start doing multiple languages. Yeah. We're going to start doing multiple languages now, podcasts. We're going to get them all translated. We got the AI abilities now.
there we go. I thought I was an expert on the Middle East. At least knew what the languages were. When he said that name, I was like, I never have heard that. And I spent 2 years in Iraq.
You're like, wait a minute.
No wonder I didn't understand what they were saying.
Punjab or Puncha or it's a weird name, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'm looking it up. Yep.
Well, apparently he's doing it right because
Pashto.
That's what it is.
Yep. 40% of the population speaks Pashto.
Well, we're going to start translating.
Dari is 49%. So
we're going to start translating our podcast into Pashto now.
Okay.
We're going to have so many different languages by the time I'm done. And we just use AI to translate for us. So now, the only man I know who has spent many years questioning why false teeth are called dentures, when asked what he would call them, he said substitutes. Pastor Gary. You're missing your market, man. I'm telling
I
you.
guess.
Yeah. And now for a guest in the studio, the only man I know who prayed for a bike after learning God answers prayer in Sunday school. When a bike never showed up, he stole one and prayed for forgiveness. Mr. Joe Tath.
It's too accurate.
Yeah. Did you talk to my mom about that?
Yeah, you're like, wait a minute.
I feel like I have some confessions to make.
Right, this is an all confession podcast.
Oh,
you know,
okay.
Yeah. And of course, across the table from me, the man with all the talent, knows what button to push at the right time. When he goes golfing, he doesn't bring any clubs. He just wills the ball into the hole. Pastor Alex Norton.
Yes, I call it the Force, but I don't know what it is. Yeah. I was watching a thing on YouTube. Have you ever heard of extreme golfing?
Maybe.
Okay, well, extreme golfing is a new thing that's like taking over Japan.
Okay.
And what they do is you go golfing on a links course, and while you're out there, you never know what's going to be coming towards you as you're trying to play your golf game.
Okay.
So they let you get up and tee off. That's nobody does anything. Once you start getting into the fairway, it's fair game.
Like ninjas and stuff can jump out from behind trees.
Normally, it's like airsoft guns. Balls flying at you. There was one episode where they let a German Shepherd go, and the guy was running around the fairway trying to get away from the German Shepherd to hit his ball. Yeah, and people love it over there. I'm thinking this could take off here.
I was over in Korea one time looking for an opportunity to play golf. I found out that the people in Japan are so hungry to play golf, but there's so few opportunities that they'll take their family to the driving range and just hit balls and then sit down, and they'll bring out a full 3 or 4 course meal at the driving range where they eat right on the tee box at the driving range, and they'll eat and stuff, and then they take everything away, and then they go back and hit some more balls on the driving range.
That's a good idea. Well, yeah, they don't have a lot of property.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
That's a great idea, though.
Day of golf at the range.
Yeah, I think there's some things we could probably. I mean, we know somebody who works at a golf course.
Yeah.
Rebecca Moore.
Yeah.
I mean, we could throw that idea past her and
Sure.
say, hey,
Probably just right up their alley.
why don't we? Why don't we could get maybe some royalties from that? From
Can
we're
we
idea
shoot
men.
people with airsoft guns as they play hockey or golf?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Hide in the bushes and shoot them.
I think we should sponsor an extreme golf event,
Full contact
full contact
golf.
involving German Shepherds, Rottweilers. Maybe an occasional alligator in the
Ninjas.
pond, ninjas. I think Nerf guns to throw you off your game. Start shooting you with darts while you're trying to make your. I think we are missing a whole market here.
Oh, I know one, and I've done this for real.
Yeah.
When you hit the ball, then there's somebody over to the side shooting it with a 12 gauge.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Which I've done.
That's awesome.
It's pretty fun because you can throw the golf ball up in the air and then hit it with a 12 gauge, and it will launch and go way far. I've done.
It doesn't explode it. Like
No,
it
it
doesn't.
just drives those BBs right into the golf ball and just launches
Really?
it. Yeah, I've done it.
Birdshot, not buckshot.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
it's
Okay. Yeah, I think it'd be fun though too to do what you just said, but to have somebody try to aim and take out the balls as they're flying.
Right, just knock them down out of the air.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
You're like, wait a minute, and then it counts as a stroke.
Right.
As soon as if they hit it, it counts as an automatic stroke.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay.
I think it's a good idea. Let's take an ID break. We'll be right back.
Hungry for more? Chew on the More podcast. We've got more laughs, more surprises, and definitely more random facts than you can handle. Tune in and feed your curiosity.
I've got some faxes here.
Okay, they just rolled right in.
Just rolled right in off of the 1983 fax machine that we have in here. We got it from a thrift store, so it still works.
Yep.
We recycle.
If you hear it you can hear the.
yeah, you can hear it. It's harder to find ink ribbons anymore because they don't. It's hard to find them, but
And all that paper that's just serrated and just just comes out of that box.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's hard to find.
You have to go to like businesses' basements where they have stored it all because they don't know what to do with it anymore. So we've taken it and we use it here because we want to take care of God's earth.
Yeah.
It shouldn't go to waste. It should be used, right?
Fax machines were great inventions. Emails are way easier, sure, But
Yeah, come on.
Nothing like sending a picture of fax and it's just all black. Thanks for sending that to me. I
Or
appreciate
dot
that.
matrix smiley faces. I remember those. Yeah, that was great. So we got some Twitters in while we were starting out the show here. Soulful Symphonies writes, Sunday's worship set was so powerful, even the sound system had a religious experience. I think so. I don't know. It seemed like the set list was pretty good Sunday.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. I don't know if it was because we had a special guest or what, but we had, we got another one coming off.
Yeah, that was a fax machine.
That was another one coming in. Yeah, see, that's the other thing too, is the fax machine, it takes a while. You can send it today, might get to us, later on in the week, but yeah, it's an older one. Barnyard Banter. Is it true that Lisa K's Chickens just launched a new line of organic eggs? I heard each egg comes with a motivational quote from the hen that laid it. Oh, kind of like the Dove chocolate.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. You open up and you have that little
Thing in there. Yeah. Oh, that's a good idea. Well, I saw a video yesterday of the chickens running around. I was like, they're pretty smart chickens. I think they could come up with something like this. Here's another tweet from Do Good Doodler. Just heard there's a prize for the best volunteer outfit on Serve Day. Time to dust off the superhero cape and utility belt. That's a good idea. Especially for the picture, right? Because Pastor Amy takes a picture when you start and then she goes around. And I think we got more coming in. Those are for the next segment. Is that the other one we have? The one that's got the tumbler on it?
Yep.
Yeah.
In about 10 minutes, it'll be ready.
We got to load some more paper up. We have found that we can use towel paper that we get in rolls now. So you can just put those in there. Well, that's some interesting tweets that come in. Thank you for sending those in, and we'll be right back.
Need more laughs in your day? Tune into the More podcast. It's so funny, you'll forget why you were even stressed. More giggles guaranteed.
Well, we have some news that's come in from Babylon News. Like we've mentioned before, we don't pay attention to CNN, Fox, any of those. They don't really tell you the story. So Babylon is our news agency that gives us our stories, and for the most part, I mean, it's stuff that's cutting edge, way before even the regular news agencies get them, because they know what they're doing, and they're bipartisan for most part. So it's good to have a news source like that, but. One of the things that hit the headline is Russell Brand's Christianity called into question after a revelation that he has not yet memorized the lyrics of DC's talk, Jesus Freak. This is it right here. This is a good song.
Yeah, you like this one?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to call yourself a Christian, you need to have that song at least somewhat memorized. This is a chorus.
You should have the chorus memorized.
Right, at least the chorus. Because, I remember growing up, Jesus Freak was out there. I remember in youth group, he played a lot. It was that was song that, would separate the non-Christians from the Christians because you knew.
Right. Now, Joe probably doesn't know this, but I'm going to inform him and bring him in.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was Pastor Alex's youth pastor.
Yeah.
And he and two other boys, I think there were four of us all together. They talked me into taking him to something called Music Fest.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah,
it was
Metal Fest down in
Metal Fest. Yeah, down in Michigan Motor Speedway. Okay, so we went down there, and these guys were watching all these bands, and it's going pretty good. And they're like super tired, so they're like, "We're gonna go take a shower.
Yeah,
we're too hot and sweaty from the mosh pit." And so they took off, and I stayed there. And then this new band came out,
brand new,
brand new, first time on U.S. soil.
Yeah.
Newsboys.
Yep.
Okay. And they had the drum set that went up and did the 360 rotation upside down. The guy's playing drums upside down. And the guy and the main singer, Toby, is like doing backflips off the bass drum and everything like that. It was on fire.
Right.
It was incredible. These guys come rolling back. And I'm like, you just missed the band of the century.
And we didn't.
Whatever.
Yeah.
And guess what?
They became the band of the century. Yeah. Now it's funny how many years later they still have the spinning drum set.
And they came to Harbor Light twice.
That's right. I remember that.
One time we had to repair the drum set before they could put their show on.
Really?
Remember? Yeah, we had to weld up something. The bearings went out. I don't remember.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I remember them being here. Yeah. Were
That's
you here
awesome.
when they were here?
Was that last year they came?
No. Here at Harbor Light.
Oh, no.
This was when they did
You
the
would have
Not
been
Ashamed
about
tour.
7th grade.
Yeah.
I was I was in the area, but I was one of those Atlantanite guys. So
You're like, I'm not going to a church
Is that
service.
when you were like
Yeah.
scoping out the bike to steal?
that's
Yeah.
about the same time.
When he learned that Jesus doesn't answer all of our prayers. That's what he learned. Yeah, that's what he's saying. Yeah. Well, this is from London. Amid the fervor surrounding his profession of faith and recent baptism, comedian and actor Russell Brand's Christianity was called into question after it was revealed that he has not yet memorized the lyrics of DC Talk's Jesus Freak. This discrepancy, seen by many mainstream Christians as a vital right in the conversation process, the conversion process, I need to read, has led many to suspect that Brand's salvation is not yet assured and will not be until he has. I saw a man with a tat on his big fat belly. It wiggled around like marmalade jelly, committed to memory, which is from the song Jesus Freak.
Yeah.
I totally agree with this. I'm not buying it, said longtime professing Christian Josiah Smith. Any Christian worth their salt memorizes Jesus Freak within the first 24 hours. That is very true. The fact that the words people say I'm strange, does it make me a stranger that my best friend was born in a manger, aren't already engraved into his brain makes this conversion suspect at best. So
you guys
yeah.
know that we have this bus ministry where we bring people from some of our local recovery programs to Harbor Light, and then on the way home, if they've accepted Jesus on Sunday morning, we've got to hit them to memorize the words of the song before we can drop them back off.
Yeah.
So sometimes we'll drive around the block 3-4 times until they get it.
Sometimes
But you're not getting off the bus.
You're not getting off the bus until you know at least a few lines or at least a chorus of Jesus Freak. Yeah.
But see, that's you doing the job correctly as a mentor, right?
Yeah,
You're not just
Yep.
bringing people to Christ or making sure
Right.
they stay saved.
They got the foundation.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So Russell Brand just needs a better mentor.
He does.
Maybe he needs one of you two gentlemen who can
Yeah.
reach down and say, listen.
Listen here, buddy. If you don't know this, you're not really saved. I know. It's in the Bible somewhere that you have to quote this song. I don't know. It's probably in the Gen Z Bible or something. I think it's good. I think we do that here, because after Pastor Gary does the altar call, the ushers and elders take him to the back and they're like, here's the chorus to Jesus Freak. You got 10 minutes to memorize it. And then before you leave the room, you have to quote it. And if you can't, then we'll revoke it. We're like, you need to stand up next week to get saved again.
Right. Over and over again until you have it.
And once you get it done, then you're fine. Then you're good. Then Jesus is like, okay, they're one of mine. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's how he knows.
That's very biblical. Very biblical to some people. All right. The next article that popped up on Babylon Bee, which is good, is Mike Lindell. I don't know if you know who he is. He's the pillow guy. My Pillow. Yeah. Well, he's doing his part to help the U.S. He arrived in Texas to build a My Pillow border wall. Eagle Pass, Texas, National Guardsmen tasked with protecting the southern U.S. border received some much-needed reinforcements today as Mike Lindell arrived in Texas to build a My Pillow border wall. The pillow mogul left with millions of units in unsold inventory due to being boycotted by mainstream retail outlets, vowed to put his pillows to good use by constructing an impenetrable but luxuriously soft barrier to prevent illegal migrants from entering the country. The most comfortable border wall you'll ever have, or your money back, Lindell was heard shouting as he ordered construction crews to begin assembling a massive column of foam chunk filled pillows. The deep state and their corporate allies thought that they could put me out of business by refusing to sell my products. The joke's on them. Years of Pillow Fort development will now result in a wall along the southern border that can't be breached. It's the cracking of border barriers, and best of all, the entire border wall is machine washable, and it's made in the U.S. of A. Can I hear a hoorah?
So I have one comment on this.
Yeah.
If he can't get this wall built with the pillows, all he has to do is just show that commercial of when he's behind your night mirror.
Oh, yeah.
And all of those people trying to get into the country be like freaked out from this fact that Mike Lindell's going to be behind their medicine cabinet mirror, and they won't come, I promise.
He's like, Mike Lindell shows up.
It's the weirdest, creepiest video ever.
It is.
Guy opens up his medicine cabinet, and Mike Lindell's like, hello! Hey, honey, come here. Check this out. Mike Lindell's in our bathroom.
The thing I think is funny is, like, by the end of the commercial, the guy's wearing the same shirt and cross as Mike Lindell does. He's got the blue shirt and the cross like Mike.
Really?
Yeah.
I've got the commercial up in front of me right now. I'm going to check that out.
Look at it. He at the end of the commercial, the guy starts wearing the blue shirt and cross just like Mike does. It starts out with him looking in the mirror, and then
I think I'm watching the the spoof of it.
Oh,
Sorry.
but it is freaky to have you going to your bathroom, getting ready to brush your teeth. Your wife was in there. This is the commercial. The wife's in there, and then all of a sudden, open the window, and then there's Mike. I mean, who needs the CSI and NSA and all those guys when you got Mike? Just
Or that Ring doorbell thing. Just have Mike.
Mike just shows up. That's going to be the Halloween costume this year. Is Mike's face will be showing up in your ring.
Nice.
Yeah. So I think this is a good solution. I mean, they sold all the equipment and stuff that we were building the wall before with. Trump, had all that stuff sitting there, and when he got unelected, they sold it all. And you could have bought it online. Somebody showed me a website where you can buy government stuff from contractors at a discount, and that was on there. It's a whole bunch. You can buy wall panels and screws and all that stuff.
Now we'll have miles and miles of MyPillow fencing.
Right.
It's probably the only fencing you can't find overly offensive.
Right, yeah. I'm like, what are you going to say? Yeah.
And if you really want to get mad about the border, go to the border and just punch it as much as you want.
Yeah.
Let that rage out because it's just a pillow. It won't hurt you.
What you're going to have is all the immigrants not crossing the border. They're just going to set up shop right there. Be like, why do we need to go any
I see an
further?
expanding market now where we can put this on university campuses as protection from protesters, and then they'll start throwing pillows.
Yeah.
It'll be a pillow fight instead of throwing, park benches and stuff like that.
4x8 sheets of plywood the other day in Columbia. Did you hear this? I just got to bring this up. This cracked me up. This girl gets on national TV news. It was on CNN, and then Fox picked it up. But she gets on there, and she said she's one of the protesters, been there from the beginning. But one thing that she can't believe that the university is doing to them is they're keeping them from their food, because they pay tuition and they pay for their food cards to eat on the campus. And the college is like, well, you're not coming in our building to, with all the protests and stuff going on. We don't want you in here to cause more trouble. So they're not able to get to the commissary to get their food. And so they're saying that that's a humanitarian issue, and they wanted the government to get involved so that they get their food cards again. I'm like, you don't understand the whole idea of protesting, do you? Because, protesters usually
hunger fast.
Yeah, do all that stuff. Gandhi did it for 3 weeks or whatever to stop the apartheid and stuff. You're not getting it. You're just not.
When's my lunch break from my protest?
Right,
I need my cafeteria card, please.
Here's the other interesting thing.
Yeah.
So these people are all making a big fuss because of the they're calling Jewish people elitists and all that kind of stuff. The average income for a student, the parent of a student at Columbia, $151,000 a year.
Are you kidding me?
I am not. It's right here in front of me.
That's ridiculous.
Yep. New York Times says $151,000 is the average income for a Columbia student's parent, the parent of the student.
Oh my gosh.
So
they're
who's
really
the elitist.
Yeah.
Right?
So they're really, they're just helping the people out, big time. Yeah. The last night there was a group of frat boys, which it would surprise me, wanted to get to their classes, and they were keep them out of the hallway that led to their classrooms. And I'm like, these frat boys are wanting to get in there. I'm like, for one, it's just weird that frat boys want to go to class. Two, they're trying to get down the hallway, and these guys are keeping them out. They're paying tuition to get there to their classes. So you got it on the West Coast at UCLA, and you got it on the East Coast in Columbia, and it's just ridiculous. We're raising a bunch of snotty brats. That's what I'm saying. Maybe I sound like an old man when I say that, but I think so. I think they're a bunch of snotty brats. Let's take an ID break. We'll be right back. We want you to know God more deeply. Find lasting freedom, discover your destiny, and make an eternal difference. More podcast. Oh, there it is. Good. I was worried that it was not working again. Sometimes you forget to plug it in.
You got to kick it.
Yeah, you got to kick it. Sometimes you got to plug it in. I forget about that. And this is going to be the next
See
5
if you
hours.
can talk over it.
I'm going to try. Here we go. We got a few tweets in. Sacred Sprinkles writes, I saw donuts at church last Sunday. And
Can't you do it?
It's just getting louder and louder. I saw donuts at church last Sunday, and let's just say I saw more hands raised than during worship. That was true. Did you see how people freaked out about the fact that we had donut holes out there?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
They were gone so fast.
Yes.
My family was early for church.
Yeah.
That never happens. And so
Okay.
I'm like, I'm going to get in line for a little bit of coffee. And
Yeah.
I'm just talking to people, high-fiving. And like, sorry, we had donuts. I'm like, you had donuts?
Right, yeah.
And I'm here. It's like 10:30.
Yeah.
I'm 15 minutes early for church. I can't
Gone.
get it here for more than 15 minutes early to get a donut. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess we'll try.
I know. They were gone after
fast.
morning practice.
How did they get there? Did somebody?
Somebody brought them.
Okay.
And from what I understand, they brought like 4 or 5 containers of donut holes from some special place in town.
Unmarked location.
Yeah. And they set them there. And the idea was they're going to keep it closed until the first service. Fine. The praise team gets out there, wipe out probably one first container. And then then people that are, getting ready for service and stuff, they're walking around. And so they see them and they try one.
They
and
look
they
at,
go
they
back.
see crumbs on someone's face, and they instantly run to the foyer.
It's like they can smell that stuff a mile away. They're like, wait a minute.
Like a drop of blood for a shark. And there were people in the SRC.
I know.
That donut holes.
Let's go. Yeah, so they didn't last very long. So yeah, Sacred Sprinkles, good point.
Someone said that the container they were in was taken. They were so hungry. Someone took the container.
They're licking the bottom of the container.
Just one more. Yeah, I don't know what that says about our church. I mean, we're trying to provide healthy snacks on Sunday, and
you can be hungry for the word
Yeah.
and for donuts. You know what I mean?
Yeah, one cancels out the other.
oh my gosh, I remember when we did make the switch.
Yep.
And
there was protest.
I mean, there was like a Columbia.
You think Columbia?
I know, yeah. People were picketing in front of the Coffee Connection, like, you taking away our donuts. It's like, we're trying to help you all from not being diabetic. All right. At Eats and Laughs writes, afternoon lunch by Jessica Good was amazing. Even the salad in her hands is a comfort food. Oh, that's true. Mm-hmm. How does she do it? Is there magic in that dressing or what? Yeah, it was good.
It was
Did you go?
Every day?
Yeah. Every day. That's right. Yeah, she's a cooking every day. Yeah.
I'll tell you, we don't have a lot of benefits here at Harbor Light as a staff member, but getting half off on lunch
That's awesome.
is good.
That's huge.
Yeah.
And it's kind of hard for me being PE teacher because I'm supposed to be like in shape and Mrs. Good will be cooking.
Yeah.
All day I can smell it. And I'm just so hungry. I'm like, you have a snack for me?
Yeah.
I'll come crawling.
'Cause you can
"Please,
smell it."
Please help
Yeah.
me.
I know.
It's tough.
Well, it's funny because I have been doing better. I've been getting a salad every day for lunch. And the only thing that I like to really get excited about is the bacon, right? Puts bacon in there. Well, I went over there and I'm like, how do you cut up all this bacon? Because it's all like ground up real nice. It's real bacon. And she's like, I buy it from Gordon Foods. And she pulls out this massive tube of ground up bacon. Literally, I lost my salvation at that point. I was just like, what in the world?
Gaffigan, when he talks about, bacon bits on your salad, it's the pixie dust of the salad world.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. I said that you just brought tears to my eyes when you brought that up. Mm-hmm. Seriously, a whole tube of bacon. Yeah. So I appreciate her, bringing that out. Well, let's take a 90 break and we'll be right back.
Hungry for more? Chew on the More podcast. We've got more laughs, more surprises, and definitely more random facts than you can handle. Tune in and feed your curiosity.
Get Rapture ready with your favorite host today, Pastor Gary and Pastor Alex Norton, as they come to you with information that you need to make it through the times coming ahead and more. Get that in there. So Rapture Ready News, this is an interesting article. It really hit me when I read it because, we talk so much about the abortion fight and we've done legal things at the Supreme Court. we have people protesting, all this other stuff. I think, I've always thought this, that if you want to change a generation, you got to start with the kids. And I mean, that's what the communists do. That's what socialists do. And so we're starting to get smart. And so if we're going to change people's minds about this whole abortion issue, we got to start with the kids, helping them understand this is what we're doing. And so Tennessee is one of the, I think they're one of 2 states that have started to do this. Tennessee governor signs bill requiring public schools to show development of preborn babies, which I think is interesting because that's never been included in their curriculum, and now they're going to start doing that. Tennessee has become the 2nd state to require schools to show students a video documenting prenatal development as states continue to take widely divergent paths on abortion policies. Tennessee Republican Governor Bill Lee signed House Bill 2435 into law on April 23rd. Lee's approval of the measure follows his passage by the Republican-controlled Tennessee House of Representatives in a 67-23 vote, which that's exciting too. I mean, they whomped them on that one. Last month by the Republican-controlled Tennessee Senate in a 27-6 vote earlier this month. The votes in both chambers came down along party lines, with all Republicans supporting the legislation and all Democrats opposing it. No
Surprise there.
Yeah, no surprise there. The legislation requires a family life curriculum that directly or indirectly addresses human growth, human development, or human sexuality, to include the presentation of a high-quality computer-generated animation of high-definition ultrasound that shows the development of the brain, heart, gender organs, and other vital organs in early preborn development. This law ensures that this is the thing that shocked me, over 1 million Tennessee public school students will be taught scientifically accurate information about when life begins using world-class educational materials like live-action Baby Olivia. She said Tennessee joins North Dakota in leading the way in human development education in schools. I mean, come on, this is the smartest plan I've ever seen in my life. Mm-hmm. Out of all the things we've tried to do to stop abortion in our country, talk to the kids. I mean, that's what they do, right? Mm-hmm. If they want to brainwash a generation, they go after them in the schools or when they're younger. Mm-hmm. And I don't know why we haven't taken, a lead on this in our situation, but I guess it required that we needed to get some government involvement because it wasn't going to just happen on its own. Mm-hmm. But I think it's just awesome how, God is using these people to bring this advancement into the schools, because I mean, if you think about it, the stuff they're going to show them, some of it is animated, but other stuff is actual footage of preborn babies growing in the womb, and a lot of kids don't even know what that looks like, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, parents don't always take them to this what is that called, the ultrasound. Thank you. Take them to the ultrasound to find out what the baby looks like, and so now these kids are learning this as they go along. So you're not trying to necessarily demystify, by showing them something really cool. You're showing them actual science. Mm-hmm. And that's been the argument from the other side, right? Mm-hmm. Show me the science. Well, there you go. Mm-hmm. You're going to see the science coming right in front of you from all stages, and know that that's a human life, not just a blob. Mm-hmm. I'm super excited about this. I think this is a great thing. I don't know. What do you think, Pastor Gary?
Well, I'd like to make a comment that, what happens is when you talk to someone on the left side of this issue, they're going to say, what about women who have been raped and incest? And they always bring up rape and incest, which are terrible, horrific, terrible things that should never happen. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, let me give you the facts. This is from USA Today. Okay? Even a left person would accept this. Okay. Less than 1% of abortions are at the result of rape.
Yeah. Yeah.
Less than 0.5% is due to incest.
Yeah.
So here's what I propose. Okay, let's make abortion not legal.
Yeah.
But in the case of rape and incest,
right,
then we will actually pay for that mom to have that baby.
Right.
And then we will put that baby up for adoption, and that baby will grow up in a loving family that really wants them and can afford them, or whatever other excuses might be used.
Right.
Okay. But we'll actually pay the mom to have the baby.
Right.
And then the 98.5% of people who are having an abortion because they're messing around.
Right, yeah.
And not planning on having children as a result of sexual activity.
Right.
Okay?
I like the idea. I think we should. I think you should run for Congress.
Thank you.
Yeah. Vote for Pastor Gary. Mm-hmm. Maybe there you go. Maybe that could be your Twilight adventure.
The reason that liberal people want abortion is it makes it okay to have sex outside of marriage.
Right, yeah.
Anytime you go outside of God's original plan, then you're going to complicate and make things, broken.
Right.
You're going to break what God created to be a healthy, awesome, good experience.
But I tell you, so granted, we're not going to be able to politicize religion and or at least biblical doctrine to the nation when we got people that don't want to believe it. So my thought is like, okay, you have people that don't want to stop. They want to have those Friday nights doing whatever they're doing. Then yeah, you take the medications that you have to take to stay from being pregnant. But at the same time, as science is starting to figure out, is that all these things that we've been subjecting ourselves to our bodies to stop that kind of stuff, the birth rates have dropped so much in the United States now that it's just crazy. The birth rates that have not stopped are people that are virgins that are getting married and they're finding a biblical understanding for why God created them to bring kids into the world. Those people, according to statistics, are not having birth rate problems. It's the people that have been subjecting themselves to these things so they can continue on to do whatever they want to do.
Right.
By all means, you want to live in that environment, then you go ahead. The person that is involved, the baby, that should not be, subjected to your whims. So yeah, I agree with that whole thing. I think that should be a part of it.
Do you know between the days 16 and 22 is when the human heart can be detected after conception?
Really?
Yep.
See, that's pretty early.
Yeah, and we tried here at Harbor Light to join the heartbeat bill.
Yeah.
A heartbeat detected is a life protected.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that could have won if we had more support in the Capitol, but it's unfortunate. That's what a lot of states are starting to do is the heartbeat bill. Like Florida has a heartbeat bill, and I think DeSantis is even trying to change that.
That's science. You want
That's
science? There
yeah.
you go.
But I like this idea here, and with it, like you're not going. That's the problem is that we've been putting the mule in front of the cart. We're not really dealing with the problem. The problem is you have kids that are growing up with a mindset and thinking that what a mom and dad or a woman creates in her belly is a cell, clump of cells, is not a human being. Now, at that early impressionable age, you're going to realize that, wait a minute, there is something there, I think this is, to me, if I could think of any effective way that we've been able to fight against this would be one of the ways.
Yeah, that's one of the ways.
Finally, we're moving in a direction I think that is going to actually change. It's a long game, right? Because it's not going to happen overnight. When they get in high school, those things will be there, part of them. That's what they did with the smoking. When I was growing up, all those ads about don't smoke, nicotine's bad for you. You're gonna die if you drink or smoke. It's going to give you cancer. It started in like junior high. And then what happens when we get to high school? The smoking rate has dropped so dramatically from when I was a kid to where we are today. It's ridiculous. I mean, people don't smoke anymore. I mean, the cigarette companies are like begging you to, take cigarettes.
That's why they started vaping.
That's why, vaping. But, they're doing that again, though, because you notice that the group they hit is not the adults. They go after the kids again. They're talking about vaping in school. I think this is a brilliant plan, taking the devil's game book here, playbook, and using it against him. I think this is good. Joe, you got anything?
Yeah, it's really scary that only 2 states are doing this, right? We're talking about everyone was a fetus at one point, and not to understand and have that visualization of what that looks like along certain stages. It seems like we're just missing something in our education system. Like we learn a lot about a lot of things in school. That seems like that is life.
Right.
That's it. And you just avoid that because, there's confusion, there's Satan. So we call them a clump of cells. If the kids haven't seen it and said, no, that looks like a person to me.
Right. Yeah.
Like that thing beating, that is a heart. And,
right.
I love just going back to the heartbeat bell. When I was a cop, I used to say, when I look for life, I check for a pulse.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right.
Period. It has a pulse, it's alive. It doesn't, it's dead.
Right. Yeah.
So as soon as that clump of cells has a heart, well, then it's alive.
Right. Why does it work for that, but not? Yeah, that's what always shocks me. It's like we use that form of reasoning, like you just mentioned, but we don't use it on this, right? We're just like, well, out of sight, out of mind, kind of thing. Well, when the baby comes out, then and that's one of the things that drove me nuts is when Congress was talking about this after the Supreme Court made their decision. There's a constant narrative that it is not a baby until it's out of the womb. And I'm like, how is that possible? How is that possible? We all know that's not true. I mean, and these are women that have had children that are saying this. I mean, you have to really go a long ways to lie to yourself about something that you yourself experienced and know what it's about. And I mean, just, oh my gosh, it's so delusional. So delusional. So be praying for Tennessee and what is it, North Dakota? Is this North Dakota? Mm-hmm. Yeah, North Dakota. Be praying for them. We need other states to do this too. I think if this ever happened in Michigan, my gosh, it'd be like the second coming of Jesus Christ.
Well, we've already shot ourselves in the foot.
Yeah, we have. I don't want to get in that because that was a mess and a half. But we definitely need to be praying that this would start happening with the kids. They start seeing this as real science. Mm-hmm. This is not just some fake, idea from the church. We're just trying to impress our biblical opinions on you. This is fact. So we'll take an ID break and we'll come back with a big question.
It's time to saddle up for more podcast.
Well, we are here with the big question, and of course, it's the end of the month, which means we get to give away the big prize. Why? What are you laughing at?
Insider information. I'm just laughing.
Insider information. All right. I don't, just like I don't give him a script all the time, he's not going to tell me. So the big question, if you win this week, we draw your name, you get to win the plaque that Pastor Gary made all in from his previous series about All In. And I'm telling you, this is really cool. Amy was like really jealous about this when she left. She's like, that was really cool. Mm-hmm. I like it. It has the words All In on it. And then what's the thing underneath there, Pastor Gary?
Yeah. He's Lord of all, or he isn't Lord at all.
Yeah. That's good. Mm-hmm. That was your quote, one of your main quotes from the series. I like that. So that's what you can win today. But if you want to continue playing our game and put your name in the Magic Wilson Insurance hat, you can just send it to HarborLightBibleTrivia@gmail.com, HarborLightBibleTrivia@gmail.com, all lowercase, and let us know the answer. And this week, we will have a question for next week, but we're going to draw for the name.
So we're going to have Joe draw.
Okay, here we go.
All right.
He's digging deep.
Real deep. I'm looking for the one that feels like my name.
Yeah.
What's that last name?
Bignell. Yeah, Cody Bignell.
There we go. Congratulations, Cody.
Cody Bignell.
Woo!
Yeah,
Way
all
to go,
right.
Cody. Get yourself a nice, it's about a 10 by 10 black wood grained, all in with the He is Lord of all, or He isn't Lord at all logo sign.
I wish I could have won.
Okay,
that.
so make sure you take that to the service.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll tell you that when we do the drawing, I feel like, every year the school does a drawing for like the ATV vehicle, whatever it is.
It's just starting now.
Yeah.
All you listeners, make sure you buy your tickets.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And it's cool. I usually will buy one ticket, support my school. Mm-hmm. And then I find out there's people from other states buying, 15, 20, 30.
But there's a limit, right? Or no, there's no limit.
I don't know.
Maybe
I think they only sell 700.
Okay.
Total.
So that's the limit.
Okay.
So you can buy a lot of tickets if you wanted to. And so my one ticket there next to somebody, and I'm like, this is just not my year. Maybe next year. Maybe next year I'll get it.
Have your wife buy it. She's always in
I know,
the finals.
that's what I should do.
She's in the finals on everything.
I don't have that touch. I don't have that touch at all. So, Pastor Gary, what is the question that we're going into?
All right. So the question for this week, as you guys all know, and we'll find out more in just a minute about Pastor Alex, will be speaking for the next 2 weeks here at Harbor Light. I'm going to start a quote. I'm going to leave out a phrase, and then you have to call in or write in with the missing phrase.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm not going to give you where it's found in the Bible.
Okay.
But I am going to start the phrase. So, when the earth remains, blank and blank, cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night shall not cease. One more time. While the earth remains, blank and blank, cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night shall not cease. What's the blank and blank?
That's good.
You got?
Huh?
You know it?
You know what? I'm not going to show my card
Okay.
yet because I need to think about it.
Okay. But that's the question for this week.
I'm not a walking Google, Pastor Gary.
Finish the quote there.
Yeah.
Fill in the blanks on the quote.
I like that. Okay. So fill in the blanks, send it in to us, and we will let you know if you got your name put in the magic hat of Wilson Insurance. Mm-hmm. And it is a cool hat. I mean, there's a lot of dreams that have been made possible using the Wilson Insurance hat.
Dream hat.
The dream hat.
I can see my name in one of the cards more of you. I was this close.
Do you see it?
It's right on top.
there on top.
Oh, see, if you would have just...
Because it was handwritten in there,
Yeah.
I think you lost some of the ink weight.
Oh, yeah. It didn't
Off the
feel
paper.
right.
yeah, it did not feel right. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
These other people have their addresses on there.
Yeah.
Look, this is a fun one. Yeah. Okay.
What is that one?
Ooh. There's a different name on each side of the
Yeah,
paper,
you can,
depending
pick,
on
you
which
can choose which one you want.
50-50
man.
right out of, wow.
We're trying to save paper, so we double side print. So I didn't want to use a lot of paper, so I double sided it. Yeah,
Good.
So you pick and choose which one you want.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, send that to harborlightbibletrivia@gmail.com. Harborlightbibletrivia@gmail.com. All lowercase. Let us know your answer. And we'll be right back after this ID break with our Bible talk for this week.
Need more laughs in your day? Tune into the More podcast. It's so funny, you'll forget why you were even stressed. More giggles guaranteed.
Well, today on Bible Talk, we're going to look at in greater detail this subject, this idea that Pastor Dwayne Vanderclock brought up last Sunday, which is what does it mean to speak to your spiritual mountain in the power of the gospel of Christ? And there was so much involved with that. That statement alone was not all of it. That was just his summary statement of everything, but it was just so good. And basically he's talking about how much we discount the power of the gospel to change, to speak to our situations, to have the power to be greater than what we think is possible. And it has been given to us already. And yet, he mentioned many times that we take the stance that we can't do it, but, we just keep begging God to do it. And God's like, like Pastor Vanderclock said, read your Bible. It's right there. I've given you the control and power. So, Pastor Gary, I know that he's your mentor and he's somebody that you have near and dear to your heart. And it was a great service. And then we had the breakout session afterwards, which was good.
Yeah, that Q&A luncheon was great.
That was really good. It was hard to stay awake after eating the pasta, but
I just want to let everybody know that most of the time when we have a guest speaker, we're going to have that Q&A luncheon afterwards. So start thinking about that ahead of time.
Yeah.
And then you get a chance to come on and ask questions, your own personal questions to the speaker, have him explain things that maybe weren't clear to you. It's a really wonderful thing. Plus you get an opportunity to be able to, kind of see his personality and, know the person a little bit on a deeper level.
Yeah. Oh, I was just going to say, if it's hard for people to come up with questions, they do this at press conferences all the time. You can develop your own questions. Pastor Gary, hand them out to people.
Oh,
if
help
things,
them.
Yeah. If things are getting a little slow,
Yep.
you'd be like, oh, Pastor Vanderclock, I had an,
Yeah. Okay.
I'm just trying to help it out. Because, some people, they hear what's being said and they enjoy it, but at the same time, I don't think they always know.
Right. A good question.
Yeah,
to
good
ask.
question to ask. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
So you could just, what do you call sweeten the pot? What do you do, sweeten the pot a little bit?
Okay.
So the gospel of Jesus Christ, it offers a profound source of power for overcoming life challenges and personal struggles. And this power is both spiritual and practical, influencing believers' lives in many, many ways. And, when we mention the word gospel, sometimes you just automatically think of like maybe the gospels we read in scripture. But the idea of gospel is encompassing a ton of things, right?
Yes.
It's doing what, Pastor Gary? It
has the power to change lives.
Yeah.
Okay. But one of the things that Pastor Dwayne said that I thought was powerful, prayer is powerful, praise and worship is powerful, but the most powerful thing is the gospel.
Right.
And he shared about, how the life change takes place because of the gospel and that we need to keep that, front and center and always most important.
Yeah. And those things that he mentioned, those things are not in and of themselves the thing.
Right.
They cultivate that deep connection to the gospel. And I think that was an important key that he brought out.
And I think, it's important for people to recognize the parts of the gospel, right? That Jesus died on the cross.
Yeah.
He was buried 3 days later, came back to life, and then he ascended to heaven. Those 4 things are critical, and that is the gospel. Yeah. It says it right in the scripture. This is the gospel, and it goes through those 4 things.
Yeah, and you can't have the gospel without any of those things involved with it. Yeah. Yep. But some of the things that are helping influence believers, and I think this is interesting as we start kind of digging into this idea of the gospel, is like you mentioned, first, you have to have redemption and forgiveness. That's a part of the process, right? Yep. So that's how we accept the influence of the gospel is we accept the redemption of Jesus Christ, and then we also accept the forgiveness that is given to us because we can't do anything to earn it. It's not anything we do in ourselves. It's a gift of God. That's what the Bible says.
Yeah.
So,
and as you said, this incorporates and encapsulates a lot of stuff,
right?
Even things that are kind of like anti-messaging that comes in the world, right? People are not born inherently good,
right?
Okay, we're born inherently broken and wicked.
Yeah.
Therefore, we need redemption. Therefore, someone has to take their place for us on the cross. See how it all sets it all up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that was interesting because, when he mentioned the idea of the gospel, I think, probably you and I are like, yeah, it makes, but I really felt like it would have been great if we could have another 15, 20 minutes for him to break it down more. Because, I mean, it's kind of like when we use the words, we find power in the cross. That doesn't make sense sometimes unless we break that down to help people understand the overshadowing aspect of what that did for us and why we say it the way we do. But yeah,
I think one of the things that's important, and he did a good job of laying this out at the beginning of his talk. There was authority given to Adam and Eve in the garden to have dominion over the earth, over all the animals, over all of creation. We were the managers. We had dominion and mastery over those things. And then when Adam and Eve sinned,
right?
He described it as they bowed their knee to Satan. Okay.
Yeah.
Satan took the authority that had been given to mankind, and then he was ruling and reigning over the earth and everything going on with the authority he took from Adam and Eve when they gave it over to him.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Jesus dies on the cross, ascends to the lower place, and gets the authority back. And then what does he do? He hands it to us New Testament believers.
Right.
So we have the authority that was given to Adam and Eve that was stolen by the enemy. Now we have it. I think that was an important concept for him to lay down the foundation for the message.
That's a good explanation of it. Yeah. It's like a good summary of.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like that. Joe, you can step in anytime you want. I mean, we're not monopolizing over here.
Listen, when you have your two pastors talking about the Bible, sometimes you sit back and just listen to the masters talk.
Yeah. We kind of think as we're communicating. So sometimes it's like, well, yeah, okay, I get that. Yeah. So redemption forgiveness is an important key to this idea of the gospel. It gives believers this idea of, having sin removed, reconciliation with God, and all that happened because of what Jesus did for us on the cross. It also, gives us this release from our guilt of previous sin because Christ has forgiven us, and through Him, we're not living in shame anymore. I mean,
correct.
We do have this prodding by Holy Spirit to make sure we don't do those same things again or move in the wrong direction. But it's not the same way we left before. We lived in a mindset where God didn't love us. God, maybe not even there was a God. But redemption, forgiveness kind of reveals to us then, hey, you have more than you realize. And it kind of goes back to what Pastor Dwayne was talking about. Like you just mentioned, this idea that we lost it all. And Jesus goes and pays the price to bring it back for us so we can have that authority again in our lives. Yeah.
And you've heard me preach this. We have gained more in the resurrection than we lost in the garden.
Yeah.
Right? Adam lost a bunch in the garden.
Yeah.
But what Christ has given it to us is all of that plus.
Right.
Right? And so there's a ton more that we have been given. The authority and the power has grown.
I like it better because in the first one we were vegetarians. In this one, bacon is on the list. So I'm just saying the resurrection is way better, way better.
Now we get big tubs of bacon.
There we go.
Not just a tube, thank you, Jesus. When I think of Easter,
okay.
When I think of Easter, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, Jesus, thank you for purchasing my bacon and getting it back for me. The next one is new identity in Christ. One of the things that we have here is that the gospel teaches us that as believers, we're not the old thing anymore. We are a new creation. And so this identity helps individuals see themselves as God sees us, which is way different than what we were before. Now we're loved, valued, and empowered to do good works in the gospel. Understanding our identity now, which is a huge shift from where we were before. And that's one thing I love when we hear these guys from like Bear River or Harbor Hall to get saved and they want to get baptized. One of the things I always notice is that they talk about the shift that happens, like their thinking, their activity, their everything just happens to change.
Yeah, you can see it on their faces.
Yeah.
I mean, my personal story is one of that nature, you know, like I'm just not the same person. I don't think the same way. I don't act the same way. I don't talk the same way. And like, I've talked about this on this podcast. People see you like, something's different.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, that guy's dead. You got to meet the new one.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I love that. That is so good. Yeah. And this is exactly what happens. And it's through this, the gospel power that, Pastor Dwayne talked about. Also, we get this added bonus of Holy Spirit empowerment. We now have an internal compass that we live by, whereas maybe before, talk about in the Old Testament, we were living by rules and regulations. Now we
live by relationship.
We live by relationship. Yeah.
So here's a thought that Pastor Wayne shared, and I think it was key. I even had someone text me about this. Romans 1:17, for is in the righteousness of God is revealed from faith to faith, as it's written, but the righteous man shall live by faith. Okay, so the faith you had to get started is not the faith that's going to get you through.
Right.
Okay.
I like
your
that.
faith needs to grow. You need to be growing your faith. How do you grow your muscles?
Yeah.
I'm going to ask the muscle man right over
ask him
here.
right here.
Okay. So how do you grow your muscles? Look at those guns.
Yeah.
The 44-inch pythons,
There
you
you go.
have to work them. You have to put them under stress.
Yep.
And sometimes you have to break them to make them bigger.
Okay. So let's apply those principles to faith. You got to exercise them. You got to put them under stress. Sometimes you even have to take them to the breaking point, but they always recover and get strength from that. So how do you grow from faith to faith? You exercise the faith you have.
Yeah.
The faith you have to get saved, you need it to grow, to sustain you, and to be able to overcome bigger challenges in your life. And so I had someone text me and say, how do I grow my faith? Exercise it.
Right.
Exercise what you have, right? Put it to the limit.
Yeah.
Burn it. What's it called when you do a burnout, right? I mean,
burnouts.
Yeah, right? You go to your
Supersets.
muscle fails.
Yeah.
Can you go until your faith is like at the brink of failure? It's going to recover and get stronger.
Yeah.
A good point. A very
Thank
good
you.
point. I don't want any division to be between you and me. So I'm a
Don't
little
worry, we're not
offended.
working out at all, but
I'm
go
a
ahead.
little offended that you didn't ask me about exercise questions. I mean, when you look at me, are you saying there's no way?
There's no chance.
Okay. I was a little hurt.
You're
by
still
that.
on the baby faith over there on that side.
Oh, baby. I was a
You
little
got that
hurt.
baby fat, baby faith fat over on that side.
That's all right. Oh, just a
New
little,
shirt.
just a little hurt, and I wasn't seen as somebody who might exercise. Okay, I understand. I still love you. I mean, we're still take a
kind of
bullet for you.
friends.
I'd
Okay.
I'll take a bullet for you. The next one is that building the gospel idea in our hearts is community and belonging. This is one thing we've talked about before. You cannot discount the fact of why the church was put into existence. I mean, people want to say I can do it on the internet. I don't have to go to church. I don't have to be a part of anything. They always quote that passage from Hebrews that we do need to be in connection, but that does that necessarily mean they have to be in a community of faith and a building? And I say yes. I say yes. God did create church for a reason. And one of the first things that happened when the disciples started ministering is they created churches and homes and they were meeting together. You have to do that. And, if you want the gospel message to take root and have power in your life, you have to see it displayed and seen in the community with other people.
So here's the phrase that was used in connection to that idea.
Yeah.
Jesus died for you on the cross. He died as you on the cross so that you could be adopted into the family, that you're adopted into the community.
Yeah.
Okay. That phrase, that second phrase, he died as you. He had a chance to unpack that a little more at the lunch. He died as your representative.
Yeah.
You deserve to die, so he died as you.
Yeah.
Right. And so just like Adam sinned, you became a sinner. Jesus died and you became saved.
Right.
Okay. So he died as you or for you. Right? For
Right.
you, as your representative, so that you can be adopted into a family, so that you're
Right.
connected. Connected is the point. So you can't just do your Lone Ranger Christianity.
Yeah.
You got to be in a part of a community or a family, however you want to describe it.
Yeah, and I think it's so crucial. And I think it's interesting how the devil has done a really good job providing the convenience
Yes.
to not be in church anymore. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the idea of the internet. But isn't it amazing, as we're getting closer to the end, how these things are becoming so prevalent?
As 2 or 3. So if you want to go to church of 3, that's fine.
Yeah.
But you just can't go by yourself.
Right.
2 or 3.
You don't
Gather-
grow.
Right.
I mean, you don't grow.
So some people don't like big churches. Fine. Go to a little church.
Yeah. Pastor Matt talked about church family last month. Mm-hmm. And I heard so many people talking about it. And Harbor Light's a special place.
Yeah.
I mean, I first time I came, PG came up to me and my girlfriend, who is now my wife, and introduced himself. Ever since then, we haven't stopped coming. And we got our carpet from Cliff. Mm-hmm. We got all the people we interact with before and after. It's like Harbor Light this, Harbor Light that. Like, it is so much more than a community. It really is like a church family. I love this church.
Yeah.
And it's because of that closeness. It's because we all come here together. You see our faces, and then you see each other out in the world, and you're like, hey, another Harbor Lighter. And, just.
Yeah, and without going too much further into things, I had a chance to perform your wedding.
Yep.
Which is great. And then, you've had things career-wise. I had a chance to come alongside you and pray with you about some big things that were happening in your career. It's great. That's what we're for.
Yeah.
Right?
And I think that's what people, see here, that we are available to each other as a community, helping out, doing all kinds. I mean, it's not just talk either. That's the thing. Yeah. I think a lot of churches, unfortunately, they think it's so spiritual to say, well, I'll pray for you. And then that's it. That's as far as it goes, right?
So let's jump back, if we could, right back to that Holy Spirit empowerment.
Yeah.
I think this idea the illustration was genius. Okay. You have a 4,000-pound car barreling down at you at 55 miles an hour.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And the policeman can stand in the middle of the road. And you're a policeman by career, Joe.
Yeah.
And you have the authority, not the power to stop the car, but you have the authority to put your hand up and make that car stop.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, that was good.
Super good. Everyone loved that illustration. Do you have any stories or any illustrations of anything where you've had to use your authority versus your power?
Oh, all the time. And as a cop, I always was telling new cops, don't ask someone that you can't make them do. Like, if I don't have the authority to make you do something, I'm not going to ask it.
Okay.
Right.
Because I'm never going to be in a position as a cop that I've asked for something and don't get it.
Okay.
If I'm on a scene, I'm in charge.
Yep.
I have to be the one. So if I tell you this, you have some cops that'll pump up their chest and sit down. That's not it.
Power has limitations.
Power has limitations. So I only spoke with the authority I had.
Right.
And I always had a lot more.
That's powerful, bud. That's
like
great.
That. Hey, circling back to my previous offense from Pastor Gary, if I was a cop and I walked up to a car like this, like me in a uniform, would I be intimidating?
I think
it's the white beard that would throw him off.
A little bit.
All right.
However, you're bald.
Yeah.
If you can get a mean face in a uniform, that goes a long way.
That does. Okay, I like that. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm just trying to get over this hurt feelings that I'm having right now about not being recognized as being somebody's physical. Pastor Gary.
Yeah.
We just wanted to let you know that we'll miss you, but it's good that you're getting out there and taking a break, and it's needed.
Yep. So we're going to be gone for a couple of weeks. So Pastor Alex will be stepping in. And what's the name of your series?
Seasons of Change.
All right. Any sneak peeks?
Yeah, this Sunday we're gonna talk about what a season of change is. What is it even being used, and then the next week we're gonna talk about ways that we can transition well and find what God is trying to do in that season. So 2 weeks of this, and try to fill your shoes. It's not easy, but
no problem.
Yeah, we'll make it work. So that's going on. Do we get anything else going on in the calendar around here? Trying to think that we had.
We just got blown away. If people don't know, on this last Tuesday we had the 3-hour marathon meeting where we go over every single day of the year upcoming. So we probably have a little brain meltdown from all the events that we just talked through for 3 hours.
It gets a little weird when you're talking about March in this year, and then you go into March of next year, and you're like, "Well."
Now I don't want to add any injury to insult so far today, but at that meeting I was in charge of bringing the pizza.
Yeah.
So I went to Jets because when I'm in charge, we're going to get Jets.
Yeah.
And I brought back 3 Jets extra large pizzas.
Yeah.
Only 3?
That's what I was really surprised. I thought I'm going to be able to go home with at least 2 pieces probably.
Did you?
There was 0 pieces left.
People left hungry.
People ate it.
Let me just say though,
And it seemed like I saw you go to the table at least 3 times.
well, hold on now, because I just want to say that the ladies, when you pulled out that pineapple
Barbecue chicken with pineapple on it.
they went through that really
Yeah.
quick. I was really surprised.
It was like a wolf pack.
Right. I mean, it's so funny because at first they're like, "Oh, I can only handle 1 piece," and then they're sitting there, and then all of a sudden they get up again and again, and they're like, "Oh, well, there's another one. Oh, let me just try that one." You know,
But one piece at a time on that plate.
Oh, yeah.
There's only 1 piece left. I
Yeah.
might as well just finish it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want it to go to waste. Yeah, I know. And then we had the ranch explosion.
Pastor Matt always when I was taking the order, he just leaned over and he wrote ranch right on my order sheet. And so when I went to order, I went to AI. They have an AI thing now.
Oh, good, yeah.
And so I'm ordering it, which was pretty impressive. And they're like, "Would you like cups of ranch or a squeeze bottle?"
Oh,
and I just went with a squeeze bottle.
yeah, right. Yeah, I like that. Yeah,
He was impressed when he saw that.
yeah. It was good. I mean,
There's
he
a
loves his
personal
ranch.
satisfaction from being able to.
Yeah, it's like
there.
ketchup.
Yeah.
He loves his ranch. I don't know if
does.
you noticed that every bite
Yes.
had to have some ranch on it.
He's
Yeah.
dipping every bite.
Every bite. Yeah, he's serious.
That's the only way to have that barbecue
Yeah.
chicken pizza. Like,
He's a sauce guy. Pastor Matt's a sauce guy. He likes his Chick-fil-A sauce too.
all right.
Yeah, he was probably the one that wrote that last Twitter last week about the Chick-fil-A sauce. It's probably him.
Probably him.
Yeah. Well, that's it for us. Joe, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah. Thank you, Joe. That was great having you in here.
It's my hour prep, so I got to go play basketball to 8th graders. I was like, well, TikTok, I'm going to go do some more podcasts.
You're doing ministry.
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 Life
All day long.
Yeah.
All day long.
But this is a real important ministry that you had to be a part of.
Yeah, I appreciate it. The only thing that's hard is now I won't be able to listen to it because I know it's on it. So Thursday's going to be hard for
No,
me.
it's fun to listen to yourself.
Yeah, I do.
I suppose. I don't like it as much. I'm going to listen because I don't.
And
I
get
don't
your
miss an
bride to
episode.
listen with you and just be like, I'm going to make a comment here in a second.
Yeah.
Listen to
right.
this.
Oh, by the way, I love you, Molly.
There you go.
Oh, good
There you
one.
go.
Good catch.
Thank you.
Good catch.
Pastor
Yeah.
Gary, I look forward to the energy you're going to have when you come back.
Okay.
And Pastor Alex, you always bring the energy, so I'm
Yep.
really looking forward to the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, just be praying for some good coffee. It'll be good. Yeah. All right. We'll talk to you guys later.
There it is. Awesome.
We want you to know, find, discover, change with us. More podcast ending transmission. Now.
So even if they don't listen, they'll